Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via live stream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbprou.com.
Good evening and welcome to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. I'm your host, Andrew Frazier, and excited to be here once again, hanging out, talking about my favorite subject. Hope everybody's having a good final couple weeks of summer because once Labor Day hits, it's a mad dash to the end of the year. So looking forward to just getting a little bit of a breather and getting started so we can have a great rest of the year. So once again, I'm here talking to business experts about key things that can help you be a better leader and lead your organization more effectively. So I'm very excited about having Brian Tangora here. He definitely knows a lot about leadership, about organizations, about creating an ecosystem and a space where entrepreneurs and businesses can thrive. So the topic's going to be the benefits of building community when building your business. And Brian's the new president and CEO of the Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce. So excited to have him on today and look forward to have a great discussion. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Andrew, how you doing tonight? How's everything going?
Excellent. Looking forward to chatting with you.
This is going to be exciting. And thank you for having me as a guest. This is going to be a great conversation tonight. Great topic.
Definitely. So look forward to exploring it because this is so critical if you're going to be successful. Nobody is successful on their own. So create the community for support and to help you achieve the success you need is key. So I know you, but most of the people here don't know. So what would be great is if you could take a few minutes, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your journey, and then we'll get started after that.
I appreciate it. That sounds great. No, thank you for the opportunity, Andrew. Yeah, it's been a heck of a journey, an exciting one, if that. And I'm proud to say that I am the newly appointed and newly selected President CEO of the Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce, where we're representing Union County and beyond, as we say, since 1911. So it's exciting to be in this role because it puts me back in the world where I can be a resource again, and I can be in a position where I can actually utilize our network to create opportunities to help others. And I got here by starting, my journey goes back to 2007, really, and even a little bit earlier than that, where I used to be in retail, worked at Costco for almost 8 years. And I always tell this story because it was my first real experience about networking, right? And representing yourself with integrity and showcasing hard work and just trying to be a good person, trying to be nice and put the work in and build those relationships, because I always say you never know who you're talking to and the impact they're going to have on your life. So when I worked at Costco back in end of 2007, I had 3 bad back injuries, and the last one knocked me out for 8 months. I had to learn how to walk again without pain. I was going 4 to 5 days a week, 2 to 4 hours a day to my one doctor in Clifton, Dr. Skanakis. We got to know each other very well, spending that much time together. And after 8 months, I went back to Costco. He called me up 2 weeks later and he said, Brian, you have your resume? I said, yeah, of course. What's it for? And he said, there's a great opportunity for you. And he said, I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's a Chamber of Commerce. Like, what's a Chamber of Commerce? I said, just trust me, you're perfect for it. So I put my resume in, had a couple of interviews with the executive team at the North Jersey Chamber, was selected as their new program manager. And then from there, one of the first tasks was bringing youth into the organization and trying to modernize it and bring a little energy into the organization. So I had the task of putting together a young professionals group, and we wanted to be different than other organizations where instead of just going out and having drinks and doing shots and kind of just strictly socializing, I wanted us to have more substance behind it. So not only did we start hosting professional development seminars and bringing in guest speakers that would talk to our young professionals and help them get on their journey and teach them important attributes about leadership and communication and management and marketing and all the key skills that they need in this world. Going forward, I said, well, we have so many nonprofits in the North Jersey Chamber. We need to start partnering up with them. We need to teach the importance of paying it forward and helping others and just being a good community partner. So to separate ourselves even further from any other group that was out there that was similar, we started partnering up with different nonprofits at every single event. And we helped put a spotlight on their great cause, on their mission. We helped raise money at that event for their cause. And then from there, we started working with one after another. And within about 5-year period, we worked with over, at that point, 35 nonprofits. We raised over $120,000+ for those causes. And what I loved was these events went from getting like 20 or 30 people, and we started getting 200 to 300 young professionals at every single event every month, which just helped put a bigger spotlight on these nonprofits. And in doing so, we introduced so much more young professionals into the chamber. They became board members. They became very active committee members. They were at all of our events. And they ended up becoming some of you look at them now and they're partners in their firm, they're president CEOs of their own companies, they're starting their own companies. So it really took off. And what bonded us was the community outreach that we did and selecting great causes, whether it was for Welcome Home Vets of New Jersey, Home for Our Troops, United Way, Kumac over in Patterson, if it was for Hackensack University Medical Center and the Tomorrow's Children's Fund. So we worked with so many different nonprofits, but what we loved was the being able to volunteer. So we took that model and we ended up instilling that across the chamber itself. And then from there, the organization grew. We had a lot more engagement. We became a stronger community partner, and we found a lot of success. But that success was built off the foundation of helping others, paying it forward, and being that good community partner. And after I parted with the chamber, I went into the private sector. I went to a technology field. I was recruited for that role. Did that for a little bit. Then COVID hit. That shut that down. And then I went into real estate for a little bit, and then went into a little grassroots advocacy organization over this past year. But when I saw this opportunity for Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce, it was one of those. It was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and I had to put I had to go for it. Because it's something I loved doing. I believed in it. And I wanted to get back to the roots of what I enjoyed most. And that was being in a position where I can meet amazing professionals from all different backgrounds, from all different industries, and be able to sit down and listen, have great conversations, and just learn about what is going to help them, what's going to solve a pain point, their ideas, their suggestions, their passion, their goals, and then help create programs that are going to help them achieve their goals. So being here, we're just over a month in, and I have an amazing team of Camila and Aaron who are at the Gateway Regional Chamber. And the three of us have just been brainstorming nonstop. And the goal is to kind of take that same recipe that we instituted at the North Jersey Chamber from 2007 to 2017 and do the same thing here and just reimagine, revitalize, re-energize, restructure the whole organization.
Okay, that's great, Brian. Looks like you've done some really great stuff. It's not easy to grow an organization. You said it like it was easy, but it definitely isn't that easy. I know myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people. Yeah, you're missing a little bit of hair too. So So excellent. So, a couple things that you mentioned were engagement. And I think that's key to every community and organization. Um, what does that mean? And how do you encourage that?
Yeah, engagement is key. It's, no matter if it's a nonprofit or if you're a chamber of commerce or any type of business organization, and if you're a membership organization or you're depending on volunteers, engagement is key because people have to believe in your mission, your vision, your core values. They need to believe in your purpose. And if you're going to rally the troops and get people involved and engaged, you have to not only have a clear, defined mission, vision, values, and clear guidelines and goals, but you have to have the process in place to be able to, allow people to accomplish that, right? And know what they're doing if they're volunteering or they're getting involved. So if it's a membership organization, it comes down to you need to be able to have those conversations, listen to the needs and understand the needs of your members, and create specific programs and value added benefits that are going to help the majority of your members, if not everybody. And it could be networking events, it could be educational programs, it could be volunteer opportunities out in the community, it could be governmental affairs, it could be a whole host of things, just maybe just marketing opportunities, or business just wants to be a part of a good, strong, reputable community organization. So if you're a nonprofit, it's creating enough awareness for your cause and building your brand enough in the community and let people know what you do, why it's important, and showcase the difference that you're making in people's lives. So without engagement, you don't get the volunteers. You're not going to get the support. Because if you can, I say it all the time, you could put together 30 events in a month, but if none of it resonates with the individuals that are part of your organization or want to be a part of the organization, then the events are going to be, two people show up, if that. So it's important to, have your fingers on the pulse, have conversations, listen to the needs of, your members and volunteers and colleagues and workers and board, and do your best, put your best foot forward and put the work in to design a plan and come up with a plan that's going to provide the services and needs to your supporters. So with community as a whole, I think with nonprofits, what I love about the whole community outreach and being involved is there's with so many nonprofits out there and so many different business organizations out there. There's something there out there for everybody, and not, in a specific cause is not going to be, universally, supported, let's say, but there's enough out there to find something that is near and dear to your heart, that you're passionate about, and you can, engage with, right? You can reach out, either volunteer, sponsor, market, support in any which way, or raise the awareness of, and just get active and do something that you feel is going to make a difference. And because I think when you can be a part of a solution, when you can give back, when you can help others, I've always said a million times, there's no better feeling in the world when you can help somebody. And if you could be a resource, you can just be that shoulder. You can be, someone that can lean on you, or you can just help, make the smallest difference in somebody's life, whether it's volunteering at a food bank, organizing a walk for children or veterans, if it's working at a local animal shelter, whatever is near and dear to your heart. There's something out there for everybody. And I always encourage, if someone's always looking like they don't know the first step, I always say, go on Charity Navigator, and they give you a list, the whole ratings of how, all the nonprofits that are in the area, or reach out to a chamber of commerce that's in your region, ask about any organizations that are there, and volunteer, spend a night, spend an afternoon, go to an event. Because what I've always loved too, and I always found, because I try to sit on so many different boards, and throughout my career, I sat on the Passaic Clifton Lions Club. I've been part of the 200 clubs. I've been a part of the American Cancer Society, which, case in point, I'll tell a quick little story. When I was on the board of directors for the American Cancer Society, at that same time, my brother, he's retired now, but he served 30 years in the military, and at that time, he had a horrible seizure, and he was stationed in Hawaii. And after a bunch of different MRIs, they found a brain tumor, and that was on Labor Day, going back to 2017 or 2016. And the next day I had a board of directors meeting at the American Cancer Society. I mentioned to them about what happened to my brother. Next thing you know it, Dr. Wang, who was out of Columbia Presbyterian, who was on our board of directors, said, let's connect. So the time difference was perfect. I helped my brother connect with Dr. Wang. They met up virtually, and I helped my brother move from Hawaii to New York, where he went to Columbia Presbyterian for his surgery and everything else. And he had a perfectly successful surgery. So if I wasn't there at the American Cancer Society volunteering on the board, who knows what could have happened. But just one of many examples I could share that by just volunteering your time, you never know the impact it's going to have on your life or the impact you're going to have on somebody else's life. And you never know who you're going to meet. So it's a great opportunity to really just meet new people, learn new perspectives, and just, build your network that you can use to help others.
Okay, no, that's great, Brian. Definitely, relationships are key in both business and in life to success. So some people say that your network is your net worth. So definitely important to look at that. So we're going to dig into a lot of great things about communities. But before we do that, I just want to introduce to some, reintroduce to some. I've created the Small Business Pro Network, which is an online community for entrepreneurs and business owners. So let me just do a short video, and then I'll be back talking small business with Brian Tangora. What's the ultimate business ecosystem for helping entrepreneurs to accelerate and grow their businesses? Of course, it's the Small Business Pro Network.
I got to say, I'm glad I trusted you with your plan because I like the plan. But we are, there's no guarantees, and it is a journey, but we're getting there, and we're making real solid progress.
Andrew helped me with the growth plan for my business and also in the financial side. So we're able to get loans.
I thought it was great, good practical information that is good for both entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs. Andrew breaks it down in a very understandable way.
You need someone that's going to tell you how to get things done, how to move your business forward, how you can run your business like a pro.
I've known Andrew for 10 years, but when we started working together, I got to see the master's mind. And he's been helping me with my financials, making sure everything's together, what's working versus what's not working in my business, so that I'm working on my business and not in my business, period.
Join the Small Business Pro Network to learn from the experts, collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs, and access valuable resources for growth. Hello, I'm Andrew Frazier. My mission is to help 1 million business owners by 2028 to sell more, make more, and get financing. I've worked with more than 1,000 business owners one-on-one, helping them to grow revenue, increase profit, and obtain financing. I created the Small Business Pro Network to help you achieve your goals faster and easier. Join before Labor Day to become a charter member for free. Visit www.sbpronetwork.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I'm hanging out here with Brian Tangora, talking small business. Brian's doing some great things with the chamber, and one of the things that he mentioned was, connecting with nonprofits. And one of the things, a lot of people think of nonprofits as not businesses, but they're actually businesses too. And what I say is they're businesses that are even harder to run than for-profits. Do you agree with that, Brian?
Oh, 1,000%. Especially because there's so many different nonprofits, and I think there's a lot of times, like you have the 501c6s, 501c4s, and obviously the 501c3s. And 501c3s, that's the most popular one. That's the most known because at least any type of contribution you make could be tax deductible. A lot of times companies will you can give more, you can ask for more. With 501c4s, that's more for the advocacy and lobbying type of organizations, and like a chamber is a 501c6, so you don't get all the tax breaks, you don't get all, it's not all tax deductible as a regular 501c3. So I think a lot of times there's that confusion of everyone's a 501c3. I think there has to be more I think awareness made that there's other types of nonprofits, and each have their own benefits and, pluses, minuses, like everything else. But as a C3, it's you can have a lot of fun there.
Okay, great. So now you've been involved with chambers for a good period of time. Definitely, chambers are out there to support businesses, but not everybody's been in a chamber, been involved in a chamber. What is a chamber and what should people expect from their chamber?
That's a great question, Andrew. And yeah, I always used to say chambers of commerce were the Google before there was Google. You go back 15, 20 years ago, before we had all the social media and Google and everything else, the internet as a whole, as we know it today, people would call up the Chamber of Commerce. Do you know a good plumber? Do you know a good hotel? What's a good restaurant? Where's a good place to go for vacation? Nowadays, chambers of commerce evolved, and now there's so many that you have the local chambers, you have regional chambers. You're going to have more like associations like the NJBIA and CINJ. So there's so many different types of organizations. As a whole, a chamber of commerce is supposed to be a good community leader, good community partner, and be able to provide a whole array of programs and events and marketing opportunities that are affordable, that will help provide the businesses, especially if, in New Jersey, right, we're like 85%, 90% small business. So you want to be able to provide enough benefits out there for the businesses to be able to save money to their bottom line, grow their network, build their brand, and be able to, connect with like-minded professionals throughout not only their town, but throughout the region. And you do so by hosting, morning, afternoon, and night events. You try to put as much variety out there as possible to give all your members the best chance to be active, to be involved, to be engaged. Chambers also host a lot of, we would put together a lot of different committees. So you might have a membership committee, an ambassador committee, a governmental affairs committee, a young professionals committee, manufacturing committee. And you do that to, you create those opportunities to get more people involved with the organization, put them in a room with other fellow colleagues and like-minded professionals, and either in the same industry or complement of industries. And it's a way for them to now network. Because I always say, if you go to a chamber event, a chamber of commerce, let's say you do a lunch event, and we used to do a thing called Leads and Lunch. And we were fortunate to grow that to where we were getting almost 400 people a month at that event. So if you spend 1 hour at a chamber of commerce event, and you can meet, let's say 5, 10, 15 good leads out of that whole room, in 1 hour, you just, instead of sitting and making cold calls all day for 8 hours or knocking on doors, you just met more quality leads and started building connections in 1 hour than you did in 8 hours. So it's more efficient. It's a way to build your brand in person. No one wants to be sold, right? And a lot of times we get a cold call, we're hanging up, we're not paying attention. If someone just knocks on your door and they're soliciting something, most of the time you're not opening the door, you're not paying attention. But if you're in a room of fellow business professionals and you're just having a conversation, it kind of lightens that whole mood and the perception. And people are going to be more willing to just sit there and just talk, get to know you on a personal level, right? And get to kind of talk about what you're doing, maybe your path, your journey, what you do with the company, how long you've been there, and just have a conversation. And then from there, maybe you're not going to be able to work with each other. Maybe the services aren't going to be a fit. But I always used to tell people in networking, when you're talking to somebody, you're getting to know that person. And you want to get to know them on a more personal level. You're representing your brand, but you're networking with the 500, 1,000, 5,000 people in their network. Because maybe you and I can't work together. Our services, we just don't need each other's services, but we get to know each other. And you always do business with people that you like. Someone one day asks, I'm looking for, a copy machine. Well, I know this guy. I just met him at an event. Think he's really cool. Why don't you give him a call? And it becomes that word of mouth marketing. And I think it's as powerful as it gets. It's just a way to build your brand out there in person, build relationships, kind of plant those seeds, because you might see them at another event, at a different organization's event. And the more you get to know somebody, it's repetitive. The more times you get to know somebody and have that small talk and just natural conversation, you never know where that leads. So a chamber of commerce as a whole should be a platform for any type of business owner, entrepreneur, company that wants to not only be active in the community, but wants to expand their network, wants to be able to, participate in fun networking events, take part in, in free educational seminars and take, or free marketing and low cost marketing and sponsorships. So it's kind of, they offer, I think, one of the best varieties of business resources that really it's a fit for anybody. There's something out there for everybody. So it's up to the chamber to offer those services. And that's what we're going to try to do.
Okay, great. Definitely that's important. You mentioned that, chambers were sort of what Google is now. So that means chambers have to evolve. You mentioned how there's all kinds of chambers out there and quasi chambers out there. So the field is pretty full, and there's a lot of disruption going on. You're coming into a new chamber. What is your strategy for being able to really provide the value that people need and choose the Gateway Chamber over other organizations?
Another great question, Andrew, and thank you. And that's the exciting part it's for me, I had the luxury when I was at North Jersey to start from the ground level and work my way up. And I got to know all the board members, all the active members. I knew the venues. I knew what our members wanted. I knew the type of events and functions. So coming to Gateway, whole new region for me, not knowing the members at the time. So what I've been doing right off the bat is I'm kind of acting as a consultant. And my thing is I've been adamant on setting up meetings with board members, with our current partners, with past partners, affiliate members, current members, and community leaders in economic development in the schools. So this past month, I've had almost 26 meetings with everyone from, like I said, our board members to community leaders to other organizations, and just getting to know them, right? And ask them, how has your experience been? The good, give me the good, bad, the ugly, and because that's how I'm going to know what is working, what's not working. And collecting that data, collecting that research, I can then apply that and start forming those programs and events that are actually going to be beneficial to our members. So right now, the overall goal is, the Gateway Regional Chamber, just like North Jersey, plus both organizations were over 100 years old. Gateway is 112 years old this year in existence. It's like with anything, you have to evolve, and that's to your point earlier, is that you have to evolve, you have to, modernize, you have to think outside the box. And for me, as a whole, chambers of commerce across this state that I've been a part of and worked with, I feel too many have lost sight on what they should be doing for their businesses. Too many chambers of commerce are out there, and they get a new member in, and the first thing they think of is, how much money can I get from them? How much sponsorship money can I get from them? Not, what can I do to help them achieve their goals? What kind of programs and events and opportunities are going to benefit them? So I want to go back to the roots of what a chamber of commerce is supposed to be doing. So with Gateway, we're looking at everything. We're looking at the name of the organization. We're going to be redoing our website to make it much more functional and user-friendly for members to be able to connect with one another and stay up to date on all the latest happenings and policy out there that's affecting business. We're going to be looking at all of our programs and events and introducing a whole array of new networking opportunities, new low-cost sponsorships. My goal is to lower the dues, because I think too many organizations, they charge way too much just to be a member, and then you have to pay more just to get, participate. I want to change all that. I want to be, for Gateway, I want us to be a necessity. I want us to be an asset to any business, any member that's a member of ours, where when renewal comes up, it's a no-brainer to rejoin, because we provided so much value at such a low cost, and we help them achieve their goals, that they're going to be a member for life with us. So I think it's important for chambers to always just communicate, have conversations with their members, with the community leaders, and get their insight, and then do your best to create programs around that to hopefully benefit the majority of the region.
Okay, no, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, you're attacking it like a business, really doing your research and analysis, developing your target market, figuring out how you're going to engage your target market, and then your operations of being able to, deliver on what you're doing. So very excited about having you on board and seeing what you're going to do. So, I've worked with over 1,000 business owners one-on-one, and I see a lot of things with businesses. But Brian, what do you see as the major challenges most businesses face?
One of the major challenges right now is hiring, is finding good workers, people who want to work, people who have the skills to do certain jobs, and just having that flexibility, wanting to come into the office if needed. So that's number one. Is we had a rail safety committee with Congressman McCain and the heads of CSX and Conrail and Norfolk Rail and Port Authority about a week or so ago, about a week and a half ago. And they were the representative from Conrail, the gentleman Eric, said they can't find workers anymore because in that specific industry, it's a 365, 24/7 industry. And and they're looking for engineers. They're looking for, individuals with special trades and special, skills. And it's fewer and fewer these days. So I think from a company standpoint, it's depending on the industry, of course, it's just a lack of the pool of candidates that they're trying to attract and try to hire from is getting thinner and thinner. So that's a big challenge right now. Navigating with the economy right now, a lot of companies are holding back, and I know there's more uncertainty with what's happening with COVID right now. So there's a lot of uncertainty right now. What's going to happen in September, October? Is there another shutdown looming? Is the economy the economy right now is tough, right? Prices are going through the roof. They have to charge more. People are watching what they spend on, so they're spending less. So it's that domino effect. And that's how it also affects nonprofits as well, right? Because every nonprofit, whether it's a 501c3, a chamber of commerce, an association as well, as a business, we're all soliciting, right? We're all trying to attract the same support from the same pool of companies. And those companies have less money to spend, right? They cut back on their budgets. So organizations like ourselves, you have to stand out. You have to deliver. You just can't promise and keep saying, oh, we're going to do this and this. You have to follow through, and you have to provide real value, because every company now is watching what's the ROI? I'm going to keep spending this money on membership dues and an event, or I'm going to be contributing to this, being a sponsor for this event. What are we getting back for it? Because we have 50 other organizations asking for the same thing. And if you're not providing it for us and what we need, we'll go someplace else. So there's a lot more competition out there as well for organizations like ourselves and all nonprofits as a whole. So it's a perfect storm out there right now. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and but that's where I think a chamber comes in. Like for us, if a chamber of commerce is doing the right thing, then you're providing enough low cost or free opportunities for these businesses to continue to market themselves, or to continue to build their business or meet potential new clients and customers, and then hopefully we can serve as a good resource for them to continue doing well and thriving no matter the economy.
Okay. I mean, definitely, hiring is a challenge, economic uncertainty, especially for chambers, you got competition. But, one thing I've always found is challenges create opportunities. And some of the greatest challenges greatest opportunities and greatest successes are founded during challenging times. So it gives you a chance to stand out. It gives you a chance to have more and new problems and be able to bring innovative solution to them before the competition and before they entrench people. So just because it's challenging times as a small business and organization, it's actually advantageous. So that's cool. One other thing that's advantageous for entrepreneurs, small businesses, is the recent technology advances. There's so much technology going on that it just increases productivity and capability beyond anything we've seen. So what is your relationship to technology, and what are you looking to implement within the chamber?
No, and it's 100% true, and I appreciate that. Right now, I know AI is the biggest buzz out there right now, and we've been using it, starting to implement it with our social media posting, and even to help kind of write some copy for articles, and kind of with even use it to help kind of lay out checklists and strategic plans, and just kind of utilizing it to sometimes if you can't get that thought out and you're trying to kind of you're trying to figure something out. You're like, let's put it in there and see if maybe it jogs the memory a little bit and it provides any type of ideas. But so AI is the big thing, of course. With anything, it can be amazing, but there's also a lot of downside to it, right? How many jobs is it going to affect? You put AI just like anything else in the wrong hands, people use it for bad and harming people. Whether it's scamming or whatever the case. You see, we've all seen the videos on what the capabilities are with something like AI. So it has a lot of pluses, but I think we have to be careful, because I think we've all watched enough sci-fi movies to know what happens, and if it gets in the wrong hands. And just using social media as a whole, even using what we're on right now, like StreamYard, and doing podcasts and videos and TV shows, and utilizing these resources to create new outlets to be able to give members and other business owners like you're giving me an opportunity to just talk, right, and be able to showcase and talk a little bit about various topics, and have discussions, important discussions about business, and various impacts of business in New Jersey and as a whole. So we're open-minded. We try to keep our fingers on the pulse. And I think it's a necessity. We can't live in a stone age where we can't pretend this stuff isn't out there or not utilize it, to further our mission and to create new opportunities for our members too. So speaking from the Chamber of Commerce, and representing Gateway, if we can create a podcast, if we can create our own little TV network on YouTube or on StreamYard, using AI to maybe come up with marketing plans for nonprofit members, or members as a whole, and use that as a resource to help them come up with strategic plans, marketing plans, fundraising plans. There's a lot of ways to utilize technology to help others, and we're going to keep our fingers on that pulse. That's definitely a part of our strategic plan as we reimagine what the Gateway Regional Chamber is and what it will be. So it's fun. Yeah, it's fun learning. I'm still not on, I'm on most of the social media platforms, but I don't do too much posting. I just use it to, I think watch like puppy videos and cooking shows or something like that, I think, and watching people go on vacation to these dream locations that make me jealous. But it's definitely technology is a necessity. We just got to be careful on how we use it and make sure we understand it and utilize it in a way that it helps and not hurts.
Okay, so definitely, I think technology is a key trend, but whenever if you want to successfully grow a business, one of the things that you got to look at is the trends and find out what they're telling you, and they can lead you towards opportunities or away from, unopportunities, or whatever you would call it. So, looking at the trends, and then, what I see is, you got to be proactive. You can't be waiting around for things to happen for you. You got to be creative. You can't just do the same thing that everybody else does. And you got to be flexible, willing to do what your customers need to really help them solve their challenges, help them fulfill their needs, wants, and desires. So, definitely that's, important piece of what we're doing. So, I think that, with what you're doing, there's chambers, and then there's Gateway, and Gateway does something different than most chambers. And, in this day and age where you got to be more creative, more flexible, more proactive, I think that Gateway and other organizations have an advantage because of their structure and relationships. Can you talk a little bit about the structure of Gateway and sort of how that works to really give you, a boost strength and opportunities within this environment.
Definitely. No, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, and that's one thing that was really appealing to me when coming on board and even originally applying for Gateway Regional Chamber for the president position was learning about how the structure currently is. And that is, you have Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce, which is basically the umbrella organization. And we formed numerous local chambers of commerce. So how you and I met, we have the Black Business Alliance, which is how you and I met, and with Mary and Rob and the whole team there. We had our first, that was my first event I was actually a part of. And it was such a fantastic event. And I know you and I chatted about it. We did it at Just By Bar and Grill in Newark, and we had 30 attendees. The energy was through the roof. I loved, all the different businesses that were represented at that event. And it was fantastic. And it was a way to just bring like-minded business professionals under one roof in a fun environment. And that's the key thing I'll share too, is that the one thing that we're going to be doing at Gateway is I'm going to make sure that all the events that we do are fun, right? Fun, but effective. And that event the Black Business Alliance hosted, that was the prime example of what I want the rest of the organization to be like. We also have the Watchung Chamber, we have the Queen City Chamber, we have the Gateway Warehouse Association, and we're working on collaborations with some other local chambers of commerce that, there's a lot, there's a number of organizations I'm going to be, there's a few that left that I'm working on bringing back, or at least working on forming strong partnerships to at least work together going forward. But the nice thing is that you have Gateway as the whole, which covers not only Union County, but we have memberships. We represent Middlesex County, Somerset County, and Essex County. And those are areas, once we really strengthen our representation, Union County again, and really become the stronghold there and the key organization, we're going to look at expanding even further into the other neighboring counties as well. But in the meantime, we have the small chambers that give you that local feel and tackle local issues and promote local businesses. So you get the regional touch with the Gateway, and then you'll have the opportunity to network at the local town chambers, which is something that a lot of other organizations don't do and don't have. They're regional, they might be larger, and they can do events. They'll do events throughout a specific county. But for us, we actually are these local chambers. They're under our umbrella and a part of our organization. So if you're a member of us, then you're a member of all the other affiliate chambers that are a part of Gateway as well, which is unique and a huge benefit to being a member.
Okay, no, definitely, definitely Gateway structure has been great. That's one of the reasons why we partner with Gateway to create the BBA. One of the things you're talking about is in-person activities. And with COVID, before COVID, not most chambers didn't do much beyond in-person activities. So there needed to be a shift. So I think a lot of them did somewhat of a shift. But what do you think is equilibrium? What's the right balance between virtual and in-person events?
Yeah, and that's another great question. And it's one of those things where in a perfect world, I will always prefer in person because I want to be able to see emotion and hear emotion and hear tone and be able to shake someone's hand and really have an engaging conversation. So for me, in person is always going to have the preferential, treatment, so to speak. But there is a place now. If anything that this pandemic showed us is that not only can people work from home and succeed. I mean, my wife is a prime example. I mean, at her company, she writes global contracts for clinical studies. They're breaking every record in the world. Every year since COVID, I mean, they literally have breaking 48 million in sales, 51 million in sales. They're at 52 million now for this year. But it showed us that we can work from home. We can have successful meetings, be successful in what we do. And a lot of it, I think it changed the way we do business now, right? Zoom is kind of the norm now. So I think with anything, it's balance. We can't shut one out or only do one over the other. I think with anything, if you utilize it, right, it becomes part of your repertoire now, and in the rotation. So I know some organizations, like 1 month they do it in person, and next month is a virtual networking event. The following month is in person. So that could work. I think Zoom is definitely good if you're doing any type of, seminar, workshop, you have a guest speaker, because you can draw more people from around the state instead of just, instead of having to find that perfect location that's central to everybody. And then you have to worry about traffic, weather, cancellations because of something at home happened with the kids or what have you. At least with Zoom, you can be on the road and you can listen in or watch on your phone. You can be at home, at the office, remote, wherever. So I think it's a necessity these days, and it's never going away. So it's just another form of technology that you have to incorporate into your current, strategic plan. So I can see us doing a lot of different seminars and workshops, and via Zoom, and then more of the face-to-face networking events, more networking focused events and trade shows in person. But that's something that I would, that's one of those things where I'm gonna lean on our membership base to share with me. And we did a survey not too long ago asking that, what type of events do you want us to do? And we're taking that feedback as well. So, for me, it's the more feedback I can get from our members and the businesses in the region to say, we would like this, or this would work good for us. There's no reason, there's nothing off the table, and there's nothing that we can't do. So it's important for me to learn the needs of our members. And that's why I'm having all these meetings and trying to be everywhere I can, because the more I learn, the more feedback I get, the better programs I can actually, the more programs I can actually introduce that are going to be quality and well received.
Okay. No, I think that makes a whole bunch of sense. And, definitely the environment, we got a lot of tools. We just got to figure out which tools fit the best, at what time and for who. So definitely, having a feel for that is key. So you mentioned something about fun. And I think that's something that's missing nowadays, and for a lot of people. So, I do a lot of leadership development, and you've got a lot of energy. You want to have fun, and those are hallmarks of good leadership. And I think that you know definitely being able to stand out because of that is key. Colin Powell's one of the leadership gurus, and I always show this video of him talking about leadership. And one of his favorite ones is, he asked somebody, as a senior person, how do you know if you're a good leader? And he was like, the standard stuff, but then he said, you'll know you're a good leader if people follow you just out of curiosity. So definitely, having fun and doing fun things is a way to do that. Don't you agree?
Oh, 1,000,000%. And I was saying this last week. We had our summer networking social that one of our members, Colonial Life, hosted. And one of the key points I brought up was, I had more people during my time at North Jersey do more business and make more connections over beer and wings than caviar and champagne. And I said, for myself, it was always take the tie off, relax, come as you are. The key thing to our events, what made North Jersey so successful, and like I said, once again, it's the same recipe I'm going to bring here, is we created a fun, inclusive, welcoming, positive environment. I wanted any event that we did, whether it was a morning mixer, whether it was a leads and lunch, whether it was an after work social, I wanted every event to be fun. I wanted our members to look forward to coming to an event, because so many times we've all been there, right? You sign up for an event and you had a long day and you're like, oh God, why did I sign up for this? How do I get out of it? I want to be the opposite. And that's what we did. We created these events that were just, you looked forward to going to them. I mean, our golf outing was one of the most popular probably in the region, because on every hole, I had either some type of liquor vendor or food vendor on every single hole. So as soon as you walked in, you had a Bloody Mary, or a mimosa. You had Tito's on tap. I had gelato. I had churro stations. I had cannolis being freshly filled right there in one of the holes. We had, popcorn, you name it. You had photo booths. So it was a great time. And it was one of those things where if you do the right thing, if you create an environment that is fun and people want to be a part of, they're going to tell somebody. And when we grew the organization, we grew North Jersey. And like I said, once again, it's what I'm going to do here. But North Jersey, we were at a certain number of members, and we should have been much higher. So little by little, with a $0 marketing budget, just by putting out the right programs, creating the right atmosphere, having that positive energy, and showcasing that in everything that we did. One person brought another person. That person brought 2 people. That person told 3 people, to the point where we ended up growing. We went from being in 34 municipalities to 120 municipalities, in 4 counties into 16 counties, to where we went from a regional chamber of commerce into a full-fledged statewide chamber. NJ Biz featured us. We went from like ranked number 19 to top 5 in the state, and we did it with spending $0. All we did was provide the programs, the events, and the opportunities that people wanted, and created a positive atmosphere that was fun, but people wanted to be a part of, to where they wanted others to see and experience what they did. So what we did there is what we're starting to do here. And hopefully our members will love and enjoy what we're doing. They spread the word, we grow. And if we grow, that means there's more opportunity for all of our members to meet new people, create new synergies, new partnerships, build new relationships, and do more business. That's how I think everyone's going to succeed. But we need to have fun. Life is too short. There's enough stress. I always say this all the time. There's too much stress out there, right? Everything's so polarized. Everything's so divisive. You know what? I want to do away with all of that. I don't want the politics. Keep all the cliques, the politics, and the stuffiness gone. There's other places for that. When you're with Gateway, you're going to have fun. All the other stuff's left behind. Left at home. Take your tie off, have a beer, have a glass of champagne, have a sandwich, whatever it is. But know that you're coming to an event that you're going to enjoy, and you're going to meet some of the best people in this state.
Okay, no, definitely. I'm excited. I'm sure a lot of other people, and it's going to be a fun ride. So looking forward to that. Definitely, it takes a minute to really be able to do something like that. But once you start to build some momentum, it can happen really fast. So I'm very excited about that. We got a comment from Jackie. About engagement. Okay, about engagement. Seems to have people have no problems. The experiences sell itself. So, definitely that's that's key. You shouldn't have to sell what you're doing if there's value in it. One of my teaching models for marketing is 3 reasons to market like a drug dealer. And basically, the first one's they don't market to everyone. Because, at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to sell. If you're marketing, if you communicate what you have and people don't want it, then you're not talking to the right people. But people know what they want, and they gravitate towards it. So I think you got a good model, and it looks very interesting. So what I want to do is, before we close out, always have the guests really break down 3 key things that people should take away from what we talked about today, so they can really start to implement them starting tomorrow. Because we talked about a lot of great stuff, and you may need to watch it several times to really fully understand it. But definitely, if we could get you to take break it down into 3 most important things that you want people to take away. I'll give you a second to think about that. So, in that time, what I want to do is, those of you who know about the Power Breakfast events that we do, we've been doing them for over 10 years now. And we've had a lot of success throughout New Jersey. As you can see, we've helped people get financing. We've helped people get opportunities to do business with others. So definitely something to check out. Our next one is going to be October 27th, and we're going to do it at the Glen Ridge Country Club. So really looking forward to it. We have a great speaker. And if you haven't been to the Power Breakfast, take a look and see what it's all about. And then we'll be back talking small business with Brian. We're here at the Small Business Power Breakfast and Conference. I'm excited to say that we had a great day.
This event was a wow. Every panel, every speaker has had so much amazing content and good information to share.
This is a good day to put aside to come out and do some learning, but also make some great connections. The ones that I made were impactful.
Yeah, so the importance of connecting with other people to grow my business is I really never know what leads to what. I might sit next to somebody at a conference I would have never met anywhere else, and their cousin might be the biggest client I ever had.
We kicked off the day with the Power Breakfast. Our speaker was Gene Bohinski, and his topic was maximizing the value of your business.
Most business owners don't know what the value of their business is and don't really know the factors that drive the value of their business. So 80% of businesses that are listed don't sell. And of the ones that do, 3/4 of the business owners afterwards say they were unsatisfied or they had serious regrets about the process.
And the morning speaker was excellent as well, got us learning what we needed to do in order to be able to ensure that our business could run without us, which I never even considered. And that's something that I'm going to be looking at now to make sure that my revenues are moving forward and my business is moving forward without me, which means I can make more money and work less. Otherwise, I'm just going to be in a job like I was before.
For lunch, we had our keynote speaker, Casey Carpenter, who talked about being able to sell even as an introvert.
I'm Casey Carpenter, the Sales Breakthrough Coach, and I gave a presentation today about 5 ways to dispel fear in selling and boost the revenue in your business. I have written a book called Introverts in Sales: Turn Your Peaceful Power into a Powerful Selling Machine. I myself am a painfully shy introvert who overcame a lot. My number 1 tip is to quit pitching and start connecting, because it's really through relationship building and connection and genuine like for each other that sales even happen in the first place.
I mean, why is it that we can't think of sales as something that is wonderful, where 2 people sit across the desk from each other and we agree, and there's solutions and promises, and it's really nice? Why can't it be that way? I believe it can.
Business with Brian Tangora, president of the Gateway Chamber of Commerce. We covered a lot of great stuff, but just, it's important to be able to focus on some key takeaways from this. So Brian's going to share 3 key things that you should take away from what we talked about today.
That's perfect. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you once again for this great opportunity. Wonderful conversation tonight. 3 key takeaways. I would say first and foremost, get involved in your community, your local community. Find a cause that is near and dear to you, that means a lot to you, and look up which kind of organization is around and reach out and volunteer, even if it's 1 night a week. If it's a Saturday, a Sunday, partake in a walk, volunteer at a food bank, whatever the case is. Get involved, because you never know who you're going to meet, and you're going to feel so amazing when you're giving back and do something selfless where you can just help others without expecting anything in return. There's so many wonderful organizations out there. So definitely get active, get involved, and you'll be surprised of the friendships you're going to make, the relationships you're going to build, the partnerships you're going to forge. So definitely, first and foremost, get active. 2, I always share this one piece of advice that was given to me. We were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should be doing twice the amount of listening and half the amount of talking. And I say that where when you do meet people, whether it is in the community or in business, listen, ask questions, hear their story, and learn from them, because you never know, you get to learn someone else's journey. You get to learn from their experience. You get to see life through their eyes and what they've been through. And I think communication is key into just creating more peace and harmony in this world, and really fostering better, stronger, long-standing relationships where you never know if that's going to lead in the future. And I think 3 is just being kind, right? Have fun, be kind to one another. I always say, I think 2 of the most underused phrases and words are thank you and please. And I think in today's society, just showing kindness and having compassion and empathy and being diplomatic and just putting someone else before yourself and having that pay it forward mentality of how can I help someone else? I think that's going to help your business and just both in a personal and professional manner. And you're going to feel so much better. And I think it's going to go so much further. So community outreach, listening to others and getting to build those relationships and understanding other individuals' paths and journeys and learning from that and applying it to your life and just being kind and nice and grateful. I said at one of my keynote speeches, if you can wake up, each morning and you can do any of the following: you walk, talk, see, hear, touch, feel, smell. It's a good day. Build on it. There are no negative experiences, right? If you take one positive experience out of anything that was a challenge or you thought was negative, you can learn from it and apply it and make it a positive. Then you no longer had a negative experience. It's a positive experience. So just, work hard, be kind, pay it forward, help others, and you're gonna life will, I guarantee you, will be so much better.
All right. No, that's outstanding, Brian. Definitely appreciate the opportunity to have you on, share your wisdom and knowledge with our audience, and share those great things you're going to be doing with Gateway. I'm looking forward to checking that out, being involved, and really creating opportunities for everyone. You talked about getting active. Generally you only get out of things what you put in. So if you're not active, and you even mentioned getting active with a cause or something that you're passionate about, and not only is it great for you, but in business, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. If you're passionate about something that someone else is, that gets you a long way towards being able to know them, like them, and trust them, and vice versa. So thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us. Anything last you want to say before we get ready to close out?
This was just a wonderful experience, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me on today's show. I look forward to working with you on many more initiatives in the near future. And anyone who wants to learn more about the Gateway Chamber or wants to get more involved in the community, I will always be around, and I'd be more than happy to help you. So I wish everyone a great night, and thank you again for having me.
Okay, great, Brian. Thanks for being here as well. If you can hang out for a minute, I'm just going to close things out, and we'll chat for a little bit in a minute. So, once again, very excited about having great guests and Brian here this evening. I think definitely building community is more critical than ever going forward. If you're a business owner, nobody does it themselves successfully, and in this environment, there's so much more you can benefit from by partnering and adding value to others while they do the same for you. So, encourage you to do that. Looking forward to next week as well. Next week, what we're going to be talking about is how to focus on what's most important. I'm going to have Dr. Eric Recker. He's author of Win the Now. He's also a dentist, and he's done some great things. So excited about really having a chance to chat with him about focusing on what's most important. I always tell business owners they need to focus on what they do best and most profitably. So, what are the important things in your business and your life that you need to focus on? So I want you to think about that as we prepare for next week. And as always, at the end of the day, the more that you know, the faster and more successfully your business will grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.